Hello, my dear ones. We have another evening of psychology by the fireplace. Today I chose this question. I heard that everyone is acting. Jung called it the persona mask. Should we take it off? Or should we live with it our whole life? It's an interesting question because a few things are mixed together here. What Jung calls the persona is not exactly what is meant in this question. So let's sort it out. The persona is a very interesting Jungian configuration, an archetype that is often not fully understood. Should we tear it off? Is it a mask or not a mask? So let's figure it out. Jung did believe that, in a sense, it is a mask. It is a role a person puts on in society. We form it up to the midlife crisis. This is when we learn to build our professional persona. Why is it needed? Do we need it at all? It does not mean a person is lying. It is like clothing we wear when we go out into society so we can be accepted, a kind of social outfit for our I, for our ego, so we are received by people. If you are a sincere person, it doesn't mean that tomorrow you will walk down the street exactly as you were born, or show up, for example, to evening tea at your neighbor's house, right? You would put on some clothes. And why do you put them on? Was nature so bad in creating you? People even say, what is natural is not ugly. And yet there are rules in society. Not everyone wants to look at your naked body. And no matter how wonderful and sincere you are, and no matter how much you love your neighbors, if you decide to drop by for tea in the evening and they invited you, most likely you will still put something on. And you will also want them, when you come for tea, not to be walking around naked in front of you. Exactly the same with the persona. It doesn't mean a person is insincere, but there are rules of behavior and expectations how a person should behave so that, depending on the culture, people can feel comfortable communicating with each other. And for example, if something happened to you and you are in sadness, which, by the way, I don't recommend, or in very strong joy or deep thoughts, and you immediately run to your neighbors and start telling them everything, maybe it's not interesting to them. Maybe they won't even understand you because they live in completely different inner configurations. And yet you have a good relationship. So when you go to these people, when you go, how will you behave so you are accepted there? So they don't say, oh, some fool ran in. We made tea for him, and he was jumping and shouting, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. You may want to be friendly to everyone, but if you don't truly accept a person, you put on this mask, this persona, pretending you love them very much. And that's where it ends. You don't try to understand. Why don't I accept them? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with them? Why does this irritate me? You don't say, I don't want this. I will figure it out, instead of pretending everything is fine. Meanwhile, inside you, irritation and aggression grow. That means something is being pushed down inside you. There is projection with this person. The person is not the problem. People are only scenery for us. They show us where something is off in us. But if a person is used to identifying themselves with this persona, with this social mask, they won't even look deeper. They put on the mask, and the aggression keeps growing. And they can't allow themselves to admit it because they think, but I'm showing I love everyone. I'm such a good person. I am this mask. But you must allow yourself to be who you are. Not necessarily perfect, just sincerely learning to love, to accept, to be kind, to be warm, to be good. We learn this by allowing ourselves not to be perfect. If you are in first grade and you accidentally wander into 10th grade, then sitting there with a clever face, studying 10th grade algebra when you don't even know that 2 plus 2 is 4, pretending won't teach you what you need to learn by going from first grade to 10th. It's the same in the story of your life, in the school of your life. To learn something, you must admit that you don't know something yet, that you can't do something yet. And it's the same with inner, soul level things. You are still learning to be more benevolent, to accept people more, to be less irritated, to be wiser. This is a learning path. If something is wrong, of course, you won't run and break down your neighbor's door who irritates you and scream, "You irritate me. Now I will be sincere." No, this would be your rebellious mask, a false persona. That would not be your true self, because your true self, your soul, is divine, kind, and beautiful. It wounds within the scenery of your earthly life. So a healthy relationship with the persona mask is not to have none, not to rip it off and rebel, but to become aware of it and to educate it, to build it, to master it. Not because you want to please people out of fear and then identify with it as if it is you, but because you want communication to be comfortable for you and for others with you, not out of fear, out of dignity, out of respect for yourself and for others. Then your persona will form correctly and the midlife crisis will not come. And we will definitely talk about the midlife crisis in future videos because people ask me about it all the time. And one more thing. How does it happen that the persona forms incorrectly? Most often it begins in childhood, when a child is constantly told, "What will other people think? Be a good boy, otherwise we won't buy you candy. You are embarrassing us. You are not like that. Be like everyone. Be the way we want you to be." Of course, a lot gets repressed, and the mask forms into a convenient person, not a dignified person, not a comfortable person for themselves and for others, but a convenient little one. So no one scolds them, no one shames them, so they are loved at least somehow. But loved at least somehow doesn't really work, because love is unconditional. If there is love, it is unconditional. A child up to about 5 loves parents unconditionally. And if they do not receive that same unconditional love back, they suffer deeply. A lot gets pushed down, and the persona becomes very false. And then the person no longer understands, who am I really? Everything has been repressed. A mask was created to be convenient and to get warmth and love, at least as the child believes. That is when the stuck mask forms, when a person no longer even notices it. They don't understand who they truly are. They build the persona not to make life comfortable for themselves and others, but to please others. And then the midlife crisis comes, which we will talk about in other videos. And to help your children not form this, simply give them unconditional love. If a child does something wrong, of course you should help them fit into society. You should explain, but explain that they are worthy of love, that every person is worthy of love and respect, and that good manners, social culture, and etiquette exist not to become convenient for someone, but to protect your dignity, the dignity of others, and to value your own comfort and the comfort of other people. And then your child will have a healthy, well-formed persona, and the midlife crisis will not come. That's it, my dear ones. I love you. Bye-bye. Until we meet again.